Hello, my name is Alicia Drake, and welcome back to Coffee and Conversations. Our goal is to bring you transparency about the world of real estate and expose the hidden nuances of buying and selling that are typically only privy to agents and brokers. Today's guest is a true titan in the real estate world. He is the head CEO of the agency, the world's largest luxury real estate brokerage, owning the largest rolodex of celebrity clientele. Wall Street Journal has ranked him as one of the top agents in the state of California for the last consecutive 8 years. He has single-handedly closed one of the most difficult and prestigious transactions of the 21st century, selling Hugh Hefner's legendary Playboy Mansion for $100 million, which still ranks the number 3 most expensive residential real estate transaction ever recorded in California history. He has sold himself nearly $4 billion in real estate sales in his career. Please welcome Mauricio Umansky.
Alicia, thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much for coming. So before we get started, can you tell us about this beautiful listing of yours?
Oh my God, I love this house. It's one of my favorite homes. It's a complete remodel, and one of the things that I love to see in homes is taking these kind of older, in this particular case, kind of Mediterranean home, French Mediterranean home, and then really doing some amazing transitional work and contemporizing it and modernizing it. And I just love that art, and I love the way it's done. I think this home is so glamorous, it's so beautiful. It's kind of Hollywood glamour, very cool, very chic, amazing views right in the heart of Beverly Hills, which is really hard to get both of those, as well as some really incredible land. You have grass, you have a tennis court, you have an amazing pool. That outdoor area with the fireplaces and the fire pits is absolutely phenomenal. And I love this house. It's listed just above $25 million, and it's nearly 11,000 square feet. And it's just an absolutely beauty.
It is gorgeous, and I'm sure you're going to sell it right away.
I think so too.
And I hope I actually can find you a buyer.
I think you're going to sell it for me.
Maybe I will. Mauricio, I thought of you as I was leaving a listing appointment in Bel Air and was faced with a common scenario, telling a seller what her home was truly worth versus what it had previously been listed for and why it hadn't sold. It raised a point for me of how important truth is in real estate. Could you please share your thoughts on the topic of truth in real estate?
Yeah, Alicia, it's one of the most important things because the reality is that our job is not only to sell real estate, but really to be our client's advisor. Right? So I see us more as real estate advisors, just like you have your money managers who are advising you, and sometimes the markets go up and sometimes they go down. But what you really expect out of your money manager is to get proper advice and to get truth all the time, right? Because then you can make decisions. The problem with real estate today is that it's really become way too competitive amongst the real estate agents. And what's happening is that the real estate agents, a lot of them being novices and really have not gone through up markets and down markets and recessionary markets and all kinds of different things. What they're doing is that they're overpricing properties. And so what they're doing is they're winning listings by telling a seller what they want to hear, not what they should be telling a seller. And so they're overpricing properties. What's happening because of that is that the property ends up sitting on the market, particularly today where the markets have stopped appreciating. In the last 3-4 years, that real estate agent was getting saved by appreciation, and the house sat on the market for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, but eventually it caught up and boom, it sold, and the agent got saved. What's happening today is that agent's not getting saved anymore. So what's happening today is that the client, the consumer, the one that we're advising, that if we do our best job, we're advising them properly, they're the ones that are getting hurt. Right? And so a property that, an agent says, hey, it should be, it's listed at, let's list it at $29 million when it really should have been $20 million, ends up selling for $17 million. And what ends up happening is that the consumer, our property owner, ends up paying for, $20, $30, $40,000 a month in mortgages for 12 months, 14 months, 18 months, right? And then they end up selling them for $17 million, which is a $3 million loss on the $20 million that they actually should have sold. So now they're really looking at a $4 million, $4.5 million loss on real numbers, right? Because the real estate agent was too scared to be truthful and to properly advise the client and actually liquidate that money, turn it into $20 million of cash instead of a property sitting on the shelves. And then those $20 million worth of cash that you now have, those $3 or $4 million extra, you now reinvest it, turn it into another money, and now you're starting to turn that money multiple times. So not only are you costing the client in this scenario $4 million of real cash, but you're also costing them the opportunity to turn that money again and to turn that money into a 20, 25, 30% return, which now is another $1 million. So now you've really cost that client $5 million in terms of poor advice. Why? Just so that you, the real estate agent, who's a novice, can win a listing, have a business card, and get it done. And it's terrible because the person that at the end of the day is losing, and it is the consumer, is our client. And the real estate agents just don't see it. They don't, it's become an industry where it's just way too cut and throat, and the agents are just not telling the truth to their clients, and it's a really, really sad situation.
I fully agree with you, and I see the temptation for young, new, eager agents. What advice could you give to them to help them get over the fear of losing that listing, but being really truthful with their clients?
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're going to spend a whole bunch of money, marketing this property. They're not going to sell the property, and it's probably money that they don't have anyway. And so they're just much better off being truthful to their clients. They're much better off, maybe bringing in a senior agent that knows what they're doing, co-listing it with them, learning the business, understanding the business. And by the way, it's not only the new agents; it's also a lot of the senior agents that have been doing this a long time. Just because, and then they just. They've been saved by this market, but that's not the scenario that we're in anymore. That we're no longer seeing appreciation. We're probably seeing a flat line. In some cases, in some markets around the country, you're probably starting to see a decline, or have already started to see a decline. From a consumer's perspective, it's really hard for them, and what they really need to do is they really need to start picking their agents as best as possible, and not getting, they themselves have to understand that advice sometimes isn't what they want to hear, but the reality. And they have to start making some tough decisions sometimes, because it's really easy to see that, shiny diamond and just say, I want to go for the shiny diamond. But again, I've seen it happen way too many times. And that client is just sitting around and, at the end of the day doesn't have, loses a bunch of money because they went after the shiny diamond.
So in all honesty, is there ever a time where full transparency does not serve a client and an agent should maybe not give them the full truth or withhold information from them? For example, like if they're trying to negotiate a deal for them or something.
I think no. I think an agent should always tell the whole truth, should always be honest about everything that they do. The art of communicating and the art of how to angle something is sometimes what differentiates some agents from other agents, okay? And that art is a skill that is probably one of the hardest things to obtain. And that skill, to be able to tell the truth, but in the way that you deliver something, in the angle that you take, or whatever it is, in order to be able to deliver the message that you're trying to deliver. So for example, I'm trying to convince a client that the best thing for them to do is to accept an offer at $19 million, okay, or at $9 million. And they want 10, right? And I'm at 9.9. The question is, how do you deliver that message so that they don't feel that you are just trying to earn a commission, but you are really trying to do the best thing for them? And the best advice for them is to take that $9.9 million offer. Not because you want to earn a commission, it just happens to be the best advice. So it's that skill and that art of being able to manipulate the way you tell that differentiates the good agents from the great agents.
It is a true skill. You really hit the nail on the head there. So, Mauricio, before I go on to our last question, where can everyone find you?
Oh, wow, I'm easy to find. Just Google my name, Mauricio Umansky. My Instagram is mumansky18. I'm at the agency, theagencyre.com. You'll find, me there. You'll also find all of our amazing agents at the agency, and they're all amazing. We have the best, including you. So, anybody watching this can really, be confident that any agent that they pick at the agency is an amazing agent. And I'm pretty much as easy as you can get to finding. Last
question. What would you say is the most important skill that has attributed to your massive success?
So two things, and they go hand in hand. It's the art of listening and understanding, and when the art of listening goes beyond just listening, but it goes to the art of reading the room, understanding, reading, it's listening, it's visual, it's understanding what the person is not only saying, but what they're trying to say, and being able to capture that, understand it, and then followed by the art and the skill of communicating in response to those type of things and communicating. So it's not only the art of listening, but it's the art of reading between the lines, and then the art of communicating back what you want to communicate so that somebody can virtually understand you. From a point of view of sales skills, I think that's one of the differentiating factors that has really allowed me to be a great salesperson. Apart my work ethic that I work more hours than anybody else that I know of, so, but that's the skill.
Thank you so much for being on the show. I truly appreciate it.
Well, Alicia, thank you so much for having me on the show, and it's an amazing show, and I'm so excited to be a part of it, and I listen to it and watch it every week.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Join us next time on Coffee and Conversations as we talk about how to buy and monetize that vacation home that you've been dreaming of.